I'm Jay, and I love collecting baseball cards. I've been collecting for 40 years. That's my first card out of a pack. Like others of my generation, I spend my afternoons trading, collecting, just talking about baseball. Since then, my collection has grown and grown and grown. Join me in sharing my cards. This is Jay's Cards. Hello card collectors, this is Jay of Jay's Cards, where I show off a set of my permanent collection. Today I'm showing the second half of my 1987 Topps baseball set. It's full of Hall of Famers and some rookie cards as well. Speaking of Hall of Famers, here we have George Brett on this first page here, and we see George Brett was the 1980 MVP. This next page we see Fernando Valenzuela, we see Eric Davis. He was one of a handful of players who had a 30-30 season. Our next page, see Will the Thrill Clark. We have Hall of Famers Tom Seaver and Mike Schmidt. Nice card there. Nice cards. We see Bruce Bochy. Bruce Sutter, Hall of Famer. Nice cards. I do like the brown border, the wood border. I like the emblem instead of the name of the team being spelled out. Herbie Puckett, Hall of Famer, Minnesota Twins. Dennis Eckersley, at this point with the Cubs. See Dave Henderson, had a couple of good years for the Red Sox. Darryl Strawberry, all-star player at this point in his career. Danny Tartabull had a few good years. I do still like how we have a lot of portrait cards here. I think the portrait cards give a lot of character to the cards. Otis Nixon, speedster Jim Rice, Hall of Famer. Tony Fernandez, Slicks shortstop. Dale Murphy. Stormin' Gorman Thomas, one of my personal favorites. Don Mattingly, Yankees legend. Steve Psycho Lyons. He was a character. He was one of the characters of baseball during his time period here with the White Sox, especially. Willie Hernandez, MVP and Cy Young in 1984. Jack Clark, Ted Simmons, Hall of Famer. Rick Royschel, Big Daddy. See Tony Gwynn, Hall of Famer. Yogi Berra right there on the Astros Leaders cards. Tony Armas, power hitter for the Red Sox in Oakland before then. Terry Kennedy, multiple All-Star. Buddy Bell, multiple All-Star. Pete Incaviglia, I remember he went straight from being drafted to the majors and spent a single day in the minors. Buddy Biancalana, that's a name there. I remember David Letterman attached to him when Pete Rose was going for his career hit record. Earl Weaver, Hal McRae, he's a hitting machine, or an RBI machine. Rick Burleson, the Rooster. Vince Coleman. I forgot all about Vince Coleman. I remember he had a peak of just he rivaled Ricky Henderson for speed. He was just he just burned up the base paths there with stolen bases. Now we come to some all-star cards here with Mike Schmidt and Ozzie Smith, Tony Gwynn, Gary Carter, your Hall of Famers. Next page we have Wade Boggs and Cal Ripken, Jim Rice, Kirby Puckett as your Hall of Famers. Always thought it was odd to see Tony Bernazard as an all-star from 1 year. And here we have Jose Canseco with his first Topps card, along with some other all-star cards like Roger Clemens, see Lance Parrish. Some good cards here. I do like, again, a very classy looking design, very understated. That's why I like the 87 Topps set. See a Rafael Palmeiro rookie card. You know, his numbers were Hall of Fame numbers, but he got dropped from the ballot after only 1 year. Barry Larkin rookie card, Hall of Famer. Kevin Mitchell was the MVP in '89. Next page, we see Lou Whitaker, a nice career. We have Bob Horner, a power hitter during his day. Von Hayes, that was a name back in the day. Don Sutton, Hall of Famer. Bud Black is the current manager of the Rockies. Chili Davis had a nice peak there for a few years. George Bell had some good years too in the 80s. Ken Herbeck I always liked. And here we have Dave Parker, now playing for the Reds, and Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer. I always thought Dave Parker looked funny in the Reds because I always thought of him as being a Pittsburgh Pirate. Here we have Phil Niekro in a very unusual looking Indians uniform. You know, historically, think of the Atlanta Braves with him. We have King Kong Kingman towards the end of his career with Oakland. Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr.'s father, of course. And Dan Quisenberry, relief pitcher back in the 80s. Steve Carlton in a very unfamiliar looking White Sox uniform. Here we have George Hendrick, a multiple All-Star. Tommy Herr, a good career with St. Louis. Brett Butler, speedster with many teams. Frank Tanana. Ricky Henderson, at this point with the Yankees in his career. Bill Mad Dog Madlock. Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer. Rich Gedman, my favorite player of all time. Ozzie Smith, Hall of Famer. Carlton Fisk, Hall of Famer. Mike Flanagan, 1979 American League Cy Young winner. Of course, Nolan Ryan, legend. See Bill Buckner there, Kirk Gibson, the caveman. Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer. Harold Baines, Hall of Famer. Robin Yount, Hall of Famer. Tom Bernansky, Bruno. Joaquin Andujar, good pitcher back in the day. Terry Francona towards the end of his playing career with the Cubs. Cal Ripken, Hall of Famer, Iron Man. Well, thanks for watching.